So I'm sitting here looking at this Gabrieli 7-choir score, the 28 parts disappearing down the page, and important to realise that all there exists now, is this much. This much of the paper exists, all this is reconstruction. And that's one job when one of the choirs is singing the whole time. So if choir 4 goes along, choir 1 takes over, choir 2 goes along, choir 1 takes over, there's one of them singing all the time. The difficulty comes when neither of them sings and you've just got space, and at that point Hugh's imagination had to take over.
Well, sometimes imagination, but luckily there are these double canons, so you get diddle-diddle-yum, and you know that it has to be answered by diddle-diddle-yum, diddle-diddle-yum.
And that presumably it's answering something in one of the other choirs.
Precisely, yes,
yeah.
and therefore you've got it mapped out for you, quite a few bars.
There are pieces...
A lot of it, quite a large chunk of it.
Pieces of the jigsaw.
Yes.
But, I mean, Hugh says that as if it's easy, but that little bit, bom, 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 that's all there is, out of which you extrapolate all this, feeding into it, because that's clearly the very last thing to be sung in a little echo passage.
Yes.
And then ta-da-dum, and then finally on the next page, that rather odd sui on its own, just one little voice.
But in fact, the first one you get dun da da yum, second one lost, dun da da yum, so choir 1 lost, choir 2, so you get the first one, not the second one, and the third one. So it gives you a guide in, a sort of template.
Yes, it's true. I think your basic concept of there being 3 capellas, 3 purely vocal choirs, as 2, we knew there was as 2, but 2 then mirrored as 4, and then mirrored as 6, and they sometimes sing exactly the same music. At that point the music's in a texture, therefore just 20.
Yes.
Sometimes they sing different music, which makes it 28.
You can see when they sing in 4-part unison because the music is complete in itself.
Yes.
And we've heard it. There's nothing lacking there, is there at all? What
that does is explain absolutely beautiful the title, that the Magnificat was for 20/28 parts. So it sometimes is in 28 when they're all doing different things.
Yes.
Sometimes
and there are in fact 2 other pieces by Gabrieli that's got exactly the same anomaly with are something else, and the something else is always 4 parts extra, meaning there were 2 capellas.
Right.
But nobody's ever added 2 and 2 together. This is always a mystery, they say.